Coach, nice to see you. Thanks for having us. Any update on Chad and Rodney not practicing today?
Well, Chad was, I'm going to call it neck stiffness. He had it Friday, and then over the weekend, I mean, he's day to day. Rodney is out for at least probably a month.
Any further details with that?
Just shoulder injury. It's probably been, say, a week.
Thanks, Coach. Sky Liam, USCBasketball.com. Players played a lot of heavy minutes last season. Would you like to expand the rotation this year, and how deep do you see the rotation going?
Yeah, good question. I think any time that you can go deeper, it's always a good thing. It always, it's going to depend. The Loyola Marymount exhibition game will give us a chance to, evaluate. At Grand Canyon, same thing. So I right now it's the good thing is when you do have players out, which obviously, today without Elijah, without Rodney, and without, Chad, that's a big part of our nucleus. But it gives other players an opportunity in practice to showcase what they can do. So I think that we're starting to see some clearly defined roles that could happen, but obviously, in games it kind of, then it changes based on productivity.
Hi, Haley Sawyer, OC Register. A couple NBA scouts out today for the pro day. Are you able to tell us how many were represented today and what you wanted the guys to get out of today's experience?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't like a true pro day like we've had in the past where we, actively, promote it with NBA teams. It was more. I think we had 7, Haley, to answer that question. But it was more just, hey, we wanted to open the doors to you guys, knowing that we were going to have some other people in the gym, so we felt like it's a good opportunity. And we left practice. That was like our normal structure. In a true pro day, we would, do pro testing, and we would test them like they do at the combine and pass all those out to everybody. But with the injuries and this wasn't it was more just, hey, there's pro scouts here today.
With it being, hi, Mia Satterfield, Brown Annenberg Media, nice to see you again. With it being about a week with the full practices going on, what have you noticed about the team? Have there been any points of emphasis that you've been trying to drill in them over this past week? And what are you kind of proud of or looking for them to improve?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just a matter of, we basically stuck with 2 defensive coverages, and now we've added a third. And then we'll get to a 4th later in the week. So now it's just kind of about adding some things that we didn't get, to put in over those 8 weeks in the summer, and it's also now it's super important to stay healthy. Not sure what it is, but across college basketball, I mean we have way too long of an off season, which hopefully it'll be addressed. Whether it's some type of competition in the summer eventually, probably not next year, but eventually some of our rules probably need to be looked at, because it's a long stretch, and we don't practice when our season ends. There are some teams that that take a week off or whatever, and then they start doing stuff even before the school year ends, and we don't do that at all. We give them off from the time we are done playing until the start of summer school. But there needs to be either more exhibition games in October or some type of summer type event, because just all the practices and prevent injuries is like, we're all just trying to get to the start of November as healthy as we can be.
Hi, Coach. Hi, I'm Adriana with Annenberg Media. throughout the season, you've kind of had some new roster changes. How has that affected how you're emphasizing team chemistry and execution so far?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of team chemistry stuff. I mean, even today before practice, we got a little competition going on that when you're with a teammate outside this building, take a picture, send it to the strength coach. The coaching staff's going to do the same thing. Practicing at Venice Beach is not necessarily about basketball. It's to, get out in the community. It's for our players that aren't from here to be able to get out, see other parts of LA. We do a little get-to-know segment after each practice. We started off with all the players, then it went to staff. Now we're on our team manager so that everybody knows each other. We'll do a 4-H thing once we get into, kind of talk about your heroes and some other unique things to get to know each other. So I think, we've really tried to emphasize that type of stuff as much as possible, which we'll continue to try to do.
Hi, Coach. You said Rodney's out for 4 weeks. Does that mean 4 weeks from now or 4 weeks from a week ago?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put an exact date, Rich, because it's going to depend on, the healing process. So I would say 4 weeks from when it happened, which we mean another 3 weeks, but I mean, he's going to get evaluated again today. So, I mean, he's going to get evaluated every week on his range of, mobility on the shoulder, pain tolerance, all those type of things.
One other question. I'm curious as to why you decided to have both of the exhibitions be away games of mid-major teams.
Well, I think, the first thing is playing in a road environment that you think is super tough. And Grand Canyon, it's well documented, is probably as tough a place to play. And then you add in the fact, all right, well, it's going to be an exhibition game, so who can draw for an exhibition game? Grand Canyon. So we already know what their student section's like. I mean, we played them at the Suns Arena when I was at Nevada, and I think our players were, like, wow, this is for real. And so playing in the road environment, and then I thought it was strategic. People that live in the South Bay playing at LMU gives them an opportunity to come see us and not have to, travel or be in traffic. And that was a little bit of it as well. There's plenty of games here. Why would we want to play another home game, here? Didn't make much sense to me with it being football season. We understand the excitement with football. And so we're playing, we have opportunity to play 2 games in October. Why not go on the road? And, Stan Johnson's a friend of mine. And so all those reasons are why.
Quick follow-up. You're playing the game at LMU on the same day as the Notre Dame game. Do you really expect to see fans to come?
Well, I don't know if the times are going to, overlap or not unless someone – I don't know the time of the Notre Dame game unless you guys do. I'd love to –
It is 7:30 there, so 4:30 our time.
Okay, well, hopefully we won't play at that time, but if we do, we do. I don't even know. Is the game time scheduled for us? I don't think we've scheduled a time, but
Thank you.
yeah. But certainly, we got to play. I mean, everybody's trying to figure out. We didn't play on a home football game day.
With Rodney's injury, that of course will open up more time for Jordan at the point guard. But it seems like he's been doing a really good job even with Rodney out there. How do you envision both of those guys playing when they're healthy? And is Jordan Marsh this team's starting point guard?
Yeah, I think it's way too early, to say who the starters are. But Jordan's been I feel super comfortable with him. I think we have a really good rapport with one another. He plays at the pace that we want. And last year, Rodney playing with Gillespie. I mean, Rodney was basically a 2 guard, but we feel like a big part of his development is to also get some time over there. As you kind of look at the future for Rodney, it's important for him to get reps in game at that position, which he will. But Jordan's, I would say, he's been as pleasant of surprise as you know, and the assistants did a really good job. The guys that were kind of assigned to Jordan of watching film and evaluating him, because we had a group of probably 6 to 8 point guards that were kind of all lumped together, and you know, some of the guys on staff really, you know, felt like Jordan was the guy. And then when I tried to look at that group of 8 guys, I kind of felt like he was definitely a difference maker, as opposed to the other guys that we were kind of recruiting at that spot. But he's been great for us. He really has.
Hi, Coach. Nice to see you again. Jessica Silva from Annenberg Media. I just had a quick question circling back to what you were mentioning earlier, kind of about more than basketball. As you guys were on Friday, you were at Venice. As you were talking with, I think it was one of the new recruits, you know, you guys are very much paying attention to people, and, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, there is good camaraderie on the team. How does that camaraderie translate into the gameplay, and how have you seen them grow as a team through these team building events and community involvement?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've seen really incredible growth, because basically you're putting together a group of guys that have never played together, didn't even know each other really, but they're Ezra had all the guys out to his house last week, and they FaceTime me, and you know, they're making a conscious effort, I believe, to try to get to know each other. And I think, you know, the better connected you are off the floor, you know, should translate on the court. But I'm old enough to know that there's been a lot of great teams that have won world championships that maybe didn't get along, you know, off the floor. They kind of went their own separate ways. The old Oakland A's were, you know, one example of, you know, but this group is, you know, we want them to, this is college, so we want them to get along. We want them to have great time outside of our building, and then to have fun inside the building. And probably the only way to do that is through really understanding who your teammate is as a person and as a player.
Last question.
Sky again from USCBasketball.com. What have you seen in the development of Jerry Easter this summer, and how do you see him in the mix at the 1, along with obviously Rodney and Jordan?
Yeah. So Jerry, you know, unlike a lot of freshmen, he has upper body strength, lower body strength, and confidence. You know, as a freshman, sometimes some guys can lack true inner. Jerry's really confident. Like, he believes he's a really good player, like in his mind and in his heart. And he's super strong, like for his age, he's really strong. He's got really good athleticism. And he's, you know, a combo guard, you know, that can kind of play both. And so, you know, we'll have to see how that, you know, the translation of going from, you know, practice to exhibition games to, you know, to then game non-conference, and then once you get into conference play. But, you know, we hope that Jerry's a part of the, you know, the future, not just, you know, the immediate 31 games ahead of us. But he's learning a lot of stuff too. I think that with any freshman, it's a big learning curve to play in this system, because of the demands of having to understand what you need to remember from an execution standpoint. So it's a lot different than for a high school guy, what we're running both sides of the ball than what he's probably used to.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Anything else pressing?
Any chance Elijah comes back this year?
I mean, I think that with him, it's just like, I mean, he's over there learning the plays, and I don't know if I've ever been around a player that's, you know, got an extended injury that is like he'll FaceTime me with questions about, you know, why did we do this? What about that? I mean, he's overly engaged. He's definitely going to be a coach for us. I mean, we got him his own clipboard so that he can diagram stuff. I think we just, like right now, it's just how do we support him, you know, with his rehab process, and you know, I mean, he's hopeful that, you know, at some point in late January that he's back practicing, and but again, that's a long way away, and you can't, you know, so I would never put a timetable on it other than that's his mindset. But he's a super positive guy that, that's hopeful, that maybe at some point, and if not, he wants to help his teammates. I mean, I guess that's kind of the coolest thing. Thank you. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Sky from USCBasketball.com. Coach just mentioned that you guys are up to learning 3 or 4 different defensive schemes this week. And how's that process been? And is that more than you've been used to in the past?
Yeah, for sure. I came from a program that before that was really, we had one defensive coverage and that was it. So I'm learning all these new plays and just the flow, and that's how it is in the NBA. So I like that.
For me, I would say it's just like, I would say it's a habit. Just because of my size, I play a lot of defense. So, like, just knowing all the defensive schemes is really nothing new, but, like, just progressing and getting better at them.
Adam Ukazoglu, Annenberg Media. What things stand out in Coach Musselman and making him a great developer of young players when you look to progress towards the next level?
I would say his character, real good character. He just wants to see you succeed in any way possible. So if it's the little things, he'll push you to do the little things right. If it's the big things, he obviously gonna push you to do the big things right. So yeah.
For me, it's like his energy. I feel like the energy he brings every day, it's like, if he's bringing that level of energy, why shouldn't I bring that level of energy? That's how I look at it. I mean, I see him go hard coaching, so it just makes me want to go hard as a player, and my off-court skills and all that.
Hi, Nia with Annenberg Media. Jordan, this one's for you. How has the transition been from UNC to just living in LA and playing in this system? You seem like you're barely breaking a sweat out there. You seem very comfortable. Just tell me about like your transition personally.
It's a big difference, a huge difference actually. I would say like the scenery. UNC Asheville is in the mountains and stuff like that, and it snows and everything. I see bears over there. And then LA, it's just sunny every day. Don't see no bears, no bugs really. So I would say that. And then, like from a basketball standpoint, I would just say like the speed is more faster than UNC Asheville. Height, taller players and stuff like that. So I would just say that.
Have you been adjusting well to that?
Oh yeah, yes ma'am.
Jordan, I got a question for you as well. Connor with 24/7 Sports. Maybe you always thought you could play point guard in the Big Ten, but since coming to USC, when did it click with you that you could be a Big Ten point guard and a real difference maker there?
Not even coming here. I just thought my whole life that I could play high major basketball, whether my size, But I would say it clicked like towards the end of the first summer session. Like I was just playing really well, getting assists, hitting the 3-ball. So I would just say around that time.
Jacob, Rich Rubin from On3. Do you envision yourself playing any at the 4 as well as the 5, playing sometimes alongside Gabe, or do you see yourself strictly as a 5?
I would say I'm more as a 4, but I'm playing out of position just for the better of the team. So I feel like I'll be playing with Gabe a lot as well. So I feel like I can play the 4 and 5 for us. Thank you.
Hi, it's Sky again from USCBasketball.com. This is for both of you. Jordan Musk just mentioned that he feels like you guys have a really good rapport. Do you, and also Jacob, do you have any specific funny interaction or a specific memory that you've had already so far this offseason?
With Coach Musk?
Yeah.
I would say we was lifting one time, and he just came in the weight room with all the football gear on. And I was like, what the freak? But it was for the first game of the season. So I thought that was a real good thing for him. And like I said, his character, he's always smiling. So I just like that for him.
Funny thing for me, I know me, Amarion, who else? Gabe. We make jokes about Musk's laugh and how it's very, it's like a jaw. What is it? You know those things?
It's like the nut. I don't know if y'all know what a nutcracker is.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Musk's laugh is like that, so we always make fun of it. So after we see him laugh, we'll do his laugh, and it's just funny, for sure.
Now I'm gonna have to pay attention to that.
You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll see it.
him. I'm Haley, by the way, from the OC Register. Jordan, there's been a couple guys in and out due to injury. As a point guard, how does that challenge you, maybe in a good way, in terms of facilitating the ball and just finding the right guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good thing for our guys that are injured, but it's just me. I just see it as like a stepping stone, just stepping up, being the next player to be a good point guard for this team and just help us win.
Nia, again, what have been some feedback you guys have been receiving from the coaches for both of you guys?
Like, what kind of feedback?
Just like feedback about your performance, post-practice, what you can improve on, just what you've been doing well.
Like I said, it's always things we can get better at. So they definitely mention that to us. But, I mean, if one of us have a good practice, I mean, they'll mention that in the huddle or behind the scenes and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know Muss has talked to me about how well I've improved in my jump shot, and just the three ball, getting it up at a higher rate. So I've been putting in a lot of hours with Will as well, and just like the managers that are rebounding for me. So I would say my jump shot for sure.
Jacob, you just spoke to this, but I'd love to hear more from both of you. You guys, your shot looks great in practice. What's that process been like of just working on that and improving the percentage?
Yeah, for me, I get up with Coach Earl every morning. We'll either go at like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. depending on how my classes are. And like, it's just a lot of reps. Continuous shooting. For me, Coach Earl tried to teach me some of his pointers, but I'm not going to say that right now. But yeah, Coach Earl, we be getting it in.
Yeah, for me, it's just like coming here to USC, it's like a no-brainer to work out after practice or before practice. Like, if you're not doing that, like, it's almost like what are you doing? Like, I feel like it's just they harp on working out after practice, and we make sure to do that every day.
Adam again. What's one standout teammate that both of you believe is flying under the radar and has been working extra hard in practice?
That's a good question. I would say Jaden, number 33, just because he's just a real good shooter. And, like, whenever he gets a chance to shoot it, you just know what's going in. So I would just say JB.
This is a good question. I'm gonna go Omarion. I feel like I just seen his improvements. I see he's in there with me working on his jump shot as well. So I've seen his shot improve, and just his motor is really good. So I've noticed that in practice, and he's been doing real well.
All right, last question. Jacob, from watching you today, it looked like your three-point shot was a lot better outside around the top of the key than in the corners. Is that accurate? And if so, do you know why?
I'd say that's accurate as well, but I feel like I'm working on the corner three ball as well. So I feel like I'll be in a lot of pick and pop situations this year from the top of the key, so I shoot a lot of top of the key. But I'm also working on the corner as well. I feel like that can improve as well.